Hi. As you can see, I'm at the house now. I'm comfortable. I changed into my PJs. Just I'm going to chillax for the rest of the day. But I wanted to pick up where I left off on the video I was making earlier while I was waiting for gas. It was rushed because I had to stop what I was doing to be able to get out and pump my gas. But I want to go back and touch on that time when my nephew had first been killed, and I felt the need to keep a stiff upper lip, excuse me, for my sister, for her sake, and be strong for her and just support her. And, you know, she was kind of traveling from here to South Carolina, or she would come back here and take some time here and then go up to New York. And usually when she was on the road or out of the house, that's when I would kind of let my hair down, so to speak, and allow myself to kind of pick up on my own grieving process. But I noticed within myself that what I was doing was letting myself relax and grieve a little bit when she was gone. But when she came back, I was like, deep breath, time to be back in that position of service because Chica's back and she's going to need my support. And I think subconsciously what I had told myself was I didn't want to let her see me cry because I didn't want to be the reason for her having a setback. I didn't want to be a trigger. But it got to the point where, as I was stating in the last video, I couldn't hold it anymore. I couldn't maintain my composure. It was literally like my balloon had been blown up to full capacity, and refusing to release the air that was in there became impossible. I couldn't do it anymore. So it got to the point where when she would come back from being on the road, being out of town, I would just tell her, I'm taking some downtime, I just need to be by myself and please don't be offended. And she let me. She understood. She was a lot more accommodating and understanding than I thought she would be, which was great because I'm just getting comfortable, excuse me. It was great because I needed to let myself have that downtime. I needed to release some things, some hurt, some pain, some frustration. And I came to realize this about myself after my nephew was killed. I had used my connectivity to him like as, I don't want to say as a crutch, but having him nearby gave me someone to love on, someone to spoil, someone to treat as a child, And my children don't live here, so when Joshua was killed, it was like the pain of that separation from my children came flooding back in, along with the grief that I was feeling about my nephew. And it's never good to hold things in. You should always process through your pain. But I will say God has always been strategic in this process of grieving. Times when my sister was really having a low moment and my mother may have been feeling fatigued and tired, because she takes care of Poppy primarily most of the time. We help her where we can, but she is his primary caregiver. So between mom having physical exhaustion and my sister, grieving, God would enable me to be stronger at those moments when I needed to be stronger, and vice versa. There were times where I was feeling extreme fatigue and exhaustion, and they would pick up the slack. But that's the good thing about having your loved ones and your family around you. They can be a part of your support system. Excuse me. Life is valuable. Life is precious. And You don't know when you're going to take that last breath. Nobody knows it. Even if you sense it coming, you still don't know it, you know? So, love people, you know? Take that time to express love and affection and, you know, just keep it real, you know? Gotta value the people around you. Anyway, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. My sister and I, after I got that gas, we went and we ate some pizza and just sat there and enjoyed ourselves. And we just got back a little while ago. So, yeah. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. It's been a long day already, and it's fairly early. But, yeah, I'm going to end this video. I hope you all have a great day. And follow peace. Follow peace. As you're making your decisions, follow peace. And, you know, sometimes in the middle of the storm, like, they talk about, like, a tornado or, like, the eye of a storm, the very center of it. That is the safest place to be, actually, because that's where you're least likely to be damaged and be hurt. And I look at that eye of the storm, the center of it, as that place of perfect peace that God can give you. Like the Bible says, He'll keep you in perfect peace if you keep your mind stayed on Him. And then it also says, that verse I mentioned earlier, about Him giving you peace which surpasses all understanding. That's like the eye of the storm, you know. You'll have chaos going on around you, everything moving about. But when you have the peace of God, it's like you're in the eye of the storm. You're in the safest place you can possibly be in. And it's the most peaceful. I mean, you don't think about peace when you think about a storm. You think about chaos. You think about pandemonium. You think about damage. You think about collateral damage. You just think about all these different negative things. But all storms aren't bad. And all portions of the storm aren't bad. So, yeah. I feel like I'm rambling. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. The last time y'all saw me like this was when I was in New York. And I was talking about those Good Samaritans. That was when we were in New York back in June last year, my sister and I. And we had problems with Betsy, that white PT Cruiser, giving so many problems. We were waiting for a tow truck. And even that day, there was just a peace about it. Normally I would probably have gotten frustrated at some point during, you know, hours and hours of waiting. And even if I didn't get frustrated during the hours of waiting, when I got to the end of that portion of the day when the tow truck company could not transport us, that probably would have been the kicker for me normally. I didn't even get angry. I literally laughed at it because I was like, really? You know, we go through this whole entire day waiting on a tow truck, and you mean to tell me now that you're here that you can't transport me to the hotel, really? But that was a storm of sorts. But again, that eye of the storm, the center of it, we were just in a place of peace. And I dare say, you know, if we just learn how to take things as they come and just trust God in the process and look for Him. Don't just trust Him. Look for Him. You know, like, this is my thing a lot of times with God. Like, okay, you let this happen. Like, what's the lesson here? Like, what am I supposed to be learning? What is there about this situation that I need to pay more attention to? What are you stretching in me? Where have I fallen short in patience or in trusting you that this particular situation is designed to present me with yet another opportunity to pass that test? Listen, I need to pass this test. Look, listen, I ain't taking this test again. That's my mindset. I ain't taking this test again. I'm going to pass. Because with God, it's pass or retake. Pass or retake. And you retake, which means you didn't pass. Listen. We're going to pass this test. But anyway, yeah, I really feel good today. I feel like I hit a landmark. Like, there was a goal to be met today, and like I met that goal, and I've graduated, and I don't know what else to say other than to say I just feel really peaceful. And the icing on the cake for me was just now coming back. We stopped at Wally World, Walmart. We stopped at Walmart, got a couple of things, and that's the area that's right near the street where my nephew was killed. And for a long time, I've been avoiding that street. But today, I drove down that street. So not only did God give me the strength to go to a funeral at my church in the same building where he was funeralized, I drove down the street. And you know what? I was playing some music, and I was dancing around in the car, having a good old time. Usually when I get to that point in the road where he was killed, because I know where it is, because when it first happened, they had some like bright orange spray paint or something that was in the road as a way of marking the spot. So I know exactly where the spot is. But you know what? I was so caught up in singing and dancing to that music that was playing on the radio. I was totally oblivious to when I passed that point. To the point where when I got beyond a certain point and realized I had passed the spot, I was like, hey, wait a minute. And that's kind of how the grief process can be. Like, you'll be, and Pastor said this today when he was when he was eulogizing this particular family, this woman, rather. He said, just go day by day. And I'm paraphrasing what he said. But basically he said, allow yourself to have those, as he calls them, emotional outbursts. And he said, you know, the next time you look up, you won't cry as hard and it won't hurt as much. And like for me today, it was driving past that spot and not even realizing that I had driven past that spot. Normally, as I'm getting closer to that spot, my thought process is, okay, this is the street he was walking down. I wonder what he was thinking about when he was at this particular spot. He was just footsteps away from his last breath. Did he realize it? Did he know it? What was going on in his thought process? Was he praying? Was he repenting? Was he listening to music and just kind of thinking about his day? Was he processing something and thinking about his life and making plans? Like, what was going on with him, you know? That's normally what I go through when I drive down that street. And there have been few hand-picked times that I've driven down that street and did not go through that process, but was distracted by something. And sometimes God lets you be distracted by something just to show you, you know, you don't have to focus on this like this. I did say I was going to end the video, but I'm going to make another point because I just thought about something. Excuse me. My sister and I went to Pastor's Church in High Point for Bible study on Tuesday. And anybody who knows anything about me knows I love Daryl Coley, right? Love his music, love his voice. Just, I was very sad when I found out that he passed away a couple of years ago. But anyway, I believe it was a couple of years ago. Anyway, excuse me. My sister was in the mood to listen to some Daryl Coley music while we were on our way to the church in High Point. And from here to there, it's about 35 to 40 minutes, possibly a little bit longer depending on traffic and depending on your speed. So that's a long time to be in the car with Daryl Coley music. And during the time when I used to play his music a lot, that was a very painful time of my life. Very painful. And there was a time when I wouldn't even listen to Daryl Coley just because of the memories that it brought up, you know. But because she wanted to listen to it. I figured I would just suck it up and just hear it. And I'm telling you, God is a healer. I was able to listen to his music going there and coming back. And I was able to remember the time in my life when I was going through so much pain, right? So I remembered that time. I remembered having been in pain at that time, but I did not experience the pain. And that's how God is. That's what happened to me today when I was driving down that street. That's what happened to me on Tuesday when we were driving to and from High Point for Bible study. I remembered the season, but did not feel the pain that was associated with it. And I had to thank him. I'm like, Lord, you have really healed me. Excuse me. And only God can heal you like that. He's the only one who can really just dig deep down to the inside of you and remove hurt and pain and trauma and stitch you back up and heal you over, and while you're open, like, get all the poison out. God did that. And I told him, I said, Lord, you really healed my heart. And I thank you. I thank him for healing me. There was a time where I didn't think I would laugh again. I was heartbroken. Literally heartbroken. And it was a struggle for me just to go through the day. It was a struggle. Because I've been through some really hurtful things. And, the heartbreak that comes with divorce. It was a lot. But you know what? God is good. And each time I think I'm going to end this video, something else comes to my mind. So I'm going to keep talking. If you're single, either because you've been divorced or because you've never been married, and you want to be married, wait for the mate that God has for you. Wait for that person that God puts a check mark in your spirit about. Don't be so anxious to get with someone that you settle for less than God's best. You settle for less than what God has for you. And even though it may not be a person who's mean to you or unkind to you or mistreats you, if it's not the person that God has for you, you're settling. That's not throwing shade. That's being honest. God knows all there is to know about you. Why would you chase behind and then get with someone who is not compatible with not just your present but your future? God's not just thinking about today when he links you up with somebody. He's thinking about tomorrow. He's thinking about your future, thinking about your destiny, thinking about your capacity now and what your capacity will become as you grow from faith to faith and glory to glory in him. So why would you ditch that for what you choose with your limited understanding of who you are, where you're going, and what you need? He's the manufacturer. He made you. Trust him. I made God a promise. And thank the Lord, he has enabled me to keep that promise. And the promise was, give me the strength to get up out of this situation. And I will not put myself in this situation again. I will not choose the man that I think is good for me. I will let you choose. As a disclaimer I'm going to make, I can't say that my mindset has been open as much as it should be. But I'm better than I was. And God is stretching me. And this is my prayer. Lord, just don't let me miss it. Don't let me miss you. Don't let me miss what you have for me. And wherever I need to grow and heal and change, let me grow and heal and change. And I'm sorry for some of you who don't watch every video. Some of what I say, I'm repeating myself. I do realize that. But it comes back to mind. It needs to be said. Someone needs to hear it. Maybe I just need to hear myself say it. But, yeah. I have peace when I lay down on this pillow right here. Y'all see how like I move it? I love it. See my blankie? It's so warm and fuzzy. Animal print. Anyway, when I lay my head on this pillow, I have peace at night. There is a peace in my spirit. And when you become accustomed to that kind of peace, don't let anything or anyone steal that from you. Don't let a situation, don't let a circumstance, don't let a disappointment, don't let a love interest, let nothing take that peace. Sometimes we don't realize how valuable peace is. Excuse me, until we don't have it anymore. But I have peace when I go to bed. And I enjoy my peace. I enjoy my own company. And I thank God for the peace that's in my spirit. So, do your work. Get to that place of peace. Heal. Well, I'll say this. God will heal you as you purge and let things go. Just let things go. And just love yourself. I find myself saying that a lot lately. But just love yourself. Realize that with your imperfections. Like, look. Get a good look at this. Look at my eyebrows. I have imperfect eyebrows. This eyebrow has one shape. This one has another shape. And can you fix that with a pencil? Yeah, you can. But, the human body is like that. If you were to split your body straight down the middle, even though people look at you as a whole, and, there are similarities, and a lot of times it appears to be a mirror image. It's not. You have imperfections. And if your human body, excuse me, my little parents here, if your human body is like that, that's the outward appearance that we give people. That's how we're presented to people, because that's how God made us. If your outside's like that, I dare say the outward presentation is a reminder of what the inside is like. There are imperfections. It is what it is. Love yourself. Look, I got a mole on my nose. You see that mole on my nose? That's on this side. I don't have one on this side. That would look weird though, wouldn't it? A mole here and a mole there. That would look weird. But either way, the point is, you are fearfully and wonderfully made with every imperfection that you have. Love yourself. And don't allow somebody to come into your life and throw shade and make you feel like you're less valuable than you actually are. Anyone who really loves you won't try to devalue you. They will add value to you and remind you that you're valuable. Yeah, don't tolerate that kind of abuse from people. Whether it's a love interest or a so-called friend, I don't tolerate that kind of crap. Some people have friendships where their friends, so-called friends, say things that for me are verbally abusive, like using cuss words and calling them the B word and all that. I don't play them kind of games. Listen, my name is Jennifer. Don't call me out of my name. Don't call it one of those things that you just say to your friends. I have never kept friends like that. There was this one young lady, and I'm going to really go after this, that I met in high school. And we had gone to the mall. We were taking the bus. And we were actually running because the bus was about to leave. We weren't sure what time we were going to leave. When we decided to leave, we checked the schedule, and if we didn't make the bus that was about to leave, there was another maybe hour wait. We didn't want to wait, so we decided to run. And she called me a B, and I forgot we were talking about. She called me the B word, and I stopped her right there. I said, "Oh no, honey." I said, "No, don't you call me that." She was like, "I'm just playing." I said, "You're just playing, and I'm telling you, don't call me that. I don't like that." Now that's my standard. People say, "Oh, that's too serious," People just say those things in fun. It's disrespectful. If you want to tolerate that, you can tolerate that. I won't tolerate that. That's just me. Why am I saying that? Because you have to have a standard for how you allow people to treat you. You teach people how to treat you based on what you tolerate. And if you would tolerate somebody speaking to you that way and calling you out of your name, well, what is it going to look like if they decide to kick it up a notch, take it to the next level? What does that look like? I'm not going to find out. I'm going to stop you right there and let you know you ain't going to talk to me like that. I don't tolerate that. So that's another way of saying love yourself, respect yourself. And as my grandma taught my mama taught me, you start up the way you want to start off, the way you want to end up. Again, I'm repeating this. I've said this before. Start the way you want to end. If you don't want to end up with someone calling you out of your name, then the first time somebody tries that, you check them right then and right there and let them know, I am not the one to talk to in that way. All right, so have a great day. Have a good evening. And have a good Sunday tomorrow. And that's it. I'm going to end my video. And until the next time, ta-ta.